This installment in a series of mistakes is teacher mistakes. Teaching is hard, let alone to make a difference in students' lives. Avoiding these mistakes should help. Assuming intrinsic motivation. Most teachers like learning, so it's easy for them to assume that many, if not most, kids will too. Alas, that assumption is often incorrect. So it's wise to default to sugarcoating what you're teaching. For example, tell how it might be relevant to their lives, or your own life. Draw a simple explanatory picture or chart. Show a short explanatory video. Just ask questions, debate a question, even do a skit. Students never forget such activities, maybe especially when a teacher wears a costume, if only a hat. Too much DIY. We should be grateful that we live in an era in which the world of information, including great lesson plans, is a mere Google search away. Don't let pride or desire to invent your own lessons trump that incomprehensibly valuable treasure trove. Regularly drawing on it will make your life much easier, and your students will reap the benefits. Overemphasizing student self-discovery. For decades now, group learning has been popular. Alas, teachers too often provide insufficient content for students' discovery process to go beyond ill-founded guessing, the blind leading the blind. Certain projects, for example some art projects, may not require much foundation before setting the students loose to construct their learning. But most projects require a mini lecture or two, perhaps with the aforementioned sugarcoating. Poor first impression. The cliché is true that you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. From the first moment you meet your students, you must convey you're glad to see them, but you take your job seriously. Yeah, that includes making each minute interesting and showing pleasure when kids are doing things well, including behaving well. But it also means nipping bad behavior in the bud. The students will notice if you let slide, for example, whispering while you're talking. No need to stop teaching, but look at the child wryly. That usually gets the message across without embarrassment. And if a child refuses to settle down, it is appropriate to whisper, "One more time and I'm going to need to send you to timeout." Nothing works perfectly, but that works well enough. Ignoring bright kids. Today, the pressures are to help, quote, the least among us. But all kids are entitled to appropriate education, and ignoring bright kids leaves too much unrealized potential. Even if you just sometimes give a fascinating harder assignment, or allow a self-designed project, plus earn praise, don't ignore bright kids, including quiet, compliant ones. Fearing being observed by good teachers or principals. Invite a fine teacher or the principal to observe you, offering feedback. Similarly, ask a great teacher or two if you might observe them in hopes of learning something. And finally, taking teaching too seriously. The unvarnished truth is that a teacher too rarely benefits a student much more than another teacher would. That rarely spoken truism should enable you to remain calm moment to moment when things aren't going well. We are largely a product of our genes, our parents, our peers, and education. But your students' outcomes are unlikely to be that different whether you work at 80% or 110%. And by steadily working at 90%, you're unlikely to burn out. Work at a sustainable level of intensity and make each moment at least reasonably pleasurable for you and your students, and you will have done your job. In any event, that's teacher mistakes. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. And certainly would welcome you taking a look at any of my 34 books. Probably the one most relevant to this, I guess, is How to Do Life. But all 34 are on Amazon. Just go there, search on my name, Marty Nemko, Nemko, and you will find more than you can stomach. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.